And that was how many weeks?
About 3 months.
About 3 months.
He was down there, and
did Lisa have to stay the whole time? Was she there much of the time? And what about? I'm sure you were down there a ton as well.
We were down there every day. We would make the trip, whether it was her or I. We tried to make it every day. We'd rotate from Myrtle Beach to Charleston every day, and there was just at the time there wasn't really a sense for us to have to stay down there, because all we could do is hold them for about an hour a day and sit beside them and just talk to them, and that was for our comfort as well as for his. At that time they were going to release him. They had said he was going to be there for another month, so they had set us up to be at the Ronald McDonald House actually down there. We were just checking in, and then they gave us that news that you're going to be able to take your baby home.
Wow.
And that's tremendous news when you've been going back and forth for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
And the things you've been through. And to say that it's really, everything in your life is dropped at that time. You know, the things you think are important in your life are
so far down on the totem pole.
They exactly are. You just forget about everything. There's nothing more important. You know, driving back and forth to Charleston was just something that I was used to, and it was no problem. It was so the things that you would do that you think are very important to you in your life are really not important when you have something like this.
I guess at another level, it really helps remind you of the things that are important.
It does. It makes you get back to a real aspect of what life is really about. So in this other picture here, it's just a picture at home. I'm having a good time sitting around, and that was probably when he was about 6 months old.
Okay, so that's about 3 months after you brought him home, and the shot of him in the blue outfit is about 3 months later.
Yes, that's correct.
Here in yellow.
And the last shot is his baptism. We had him baptized, and he's coming along. He is now at 16.5 pounds.
Is that right,
That's
Brian?
correct.
Wow.
16.5 pounds.
So out of the womb at right over 2 pounds?
2 pounds, 1 ounce.
2 pounds and 1 ounce.
Now he's to 16.5 pounds. And I tell you, every ounce he gained while he was in the NICU unit was tremendous. Because every ounce they gain, it's a milestone. Every little thing they do is a milestone. You know, I can't say enough for that. I can't say enough for the March of Dimes to be there for us. It's tremendous seeing all this happen.
Give us a sense of that NICU, or the neonatal intensive care unit. I know you talked about obviously a lot of children coming through there. Is this just for premature births, or is it for children all types of early issues, of birth defects or otherwise?
The NICU unit is pretty much premature births.
Is that right?
It's the intensive care unit, and you just see a lot of them come and go. You're not allowed to ask about any of the other babies, which is fine, because there are a lot of things that happen. A lot of different scenarios can happen with a premature baby. You get to know some people that are in there, that are in and out of there.
You mean other parents. Right.
And then you talk about what's going on. It's being in there daily. You'd see a baby disappear, and you don't know where they went. You don't know if they went to another level or what happened. And sometimes it's just shocking. It really is. And you know, there's a lot of difficulties that go on. We are very blessed that today Owen's he's had 2 hernia operations.
He has, okay.
Yes, and that was around Christmas time. And right now he's just doing some physical therapy, a little bit of physical therapy.
Does he do that in the house, or do you all have to go back to MUSC for that?
We're actually doing that down in Pawleys Island.
Okay.
We go down to MUSC. We were just there last week. We were just there, and they just do checkups to make sure he's progressing. Like I said, he's 7 months old.
Right.
But he's actually 4 months old if he would have came out when he was supposed to.
Right.
So they kind of evaluate where he actually is on that level. I think he's about the 5.5 month mark. So
exciting, Brian.
It's
that is
exciting.
real progress. 16
Exciting.
pounds. That is a big deal when you think about the progression there from. I mean, that is 700 or 800 times larger than he was at birth. I mean, that's a really big deal in a 7-month time period there. So to see that kind of, but of course the growth from but it was over the course of 3 months, it was a 4-pound growth. You said to 6 pounds when he got out, more or less?
He was about 5 pounds when he got out.
Okay.
So after that, but they put you on special diets, formulas, vitamins, trying to get that weight going, and that's really helped. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's been an experience.
When you said oftentimes some children were going to different levels, was that a different level of the NICU or just a different level of their health? I mean, were there different
level
parts
of health?
the right?
You would see sometimes they'd have to take everybody out of the NICU unit because there would be emergency.
You mean
all
the parents?
All the parents,
right.
And they just have to shut it down and have emergency, whether it's operating or whatnot. But it's very intense. You'll go in there and see the way they have it is there's a purple light that comes on if they're colicky. They'll have to sit up under this fluorescent purple light for the whole day.
You mean individual children?
The individual children.
Right.
So you would go in and see different children in the different, their incubators is what I call them. I'm not sure what the technical term is.
Right.
But you would see the purple light on in there and know that that's what they were going through. And you didn't know what you were going to walk into when you walked in for the day. You walk in and you see the purple light on your child and you're like...
So there were clearly days like that for you. Days
like
when
that.
you come in and see Owen.
And they would they'd be under a big blindfold and protecting their eyes, but just under this fluorescent lighting to help them. So it is amazing.
How alarming. I mean, for a parent to not know what that's going to be like. It's still the same way, I'm sure, with normal births and the progression for a child and seeing. I mean, at some level, it's same. Children change, but to come into a foreign environment like a neonatal intensive care unit and to see the changes that are occurring there with tubes hooked to your child, that must be a big deal.
It is a big deal, and you've got this life in their hands, so you have full trust of what they're doing, and as a visitor there, they make you feel like home, and the March of Dimes makes you feel like home. They're there for you for anything you really need, and if they cannot help you, they'll direct you in the right direction of who you need to talk to with phone numbers.
Right.
And that type of thing. But it hits you hard, and for somebody to be there for you, and you know that the reason that your son or your child is where they're at is because of the funding.
Right, for research.
And yes, our family, and like you said, it's an extended family. It's just not my wife and I. It's grandparents. It's,
right.
Our parents, our families, our friends, all the support.
That you all have been getting over the course of the 7 months.
Yes.
Everyone's involvement there. Were a lot of other family and friends able to come down, or were you all it was pretty sheltered there as it relates to, I know the March of Dimes takes board members on a regular basis to the NICU in Florence at McLeod to go up there to see what it's like to have that real experience, not like a parent obviously, but to just try to experience it so they could be more active on trying to get the word out about how critical this is right now. But did you ever have family go down?
Sure, we had family go down. Your immediate family could get in and go see them. Anybody else would have to have a parent escorting them, and it'd be one at a time. You couldn't. There's no more than two people could be in there at a time.
Right.
So, seeing him, it's a very serious room and area in the hospital. It is intensive care. It feels like it's downplayed a little bit because you feel like you're at home and the comfort's at home, but it's intensive care. They've got a rocking chair in there, and you can sit in there and rock with the baby.
Right next to your child, yeah.
So it's great.
You all had your Owen's first Easter yesterday, Brian. I hope that was a big day.
First Easter, great. First time in church. Well, the church service, I should say.
Right, other than the baptism,
service. And got to do the rounds with the grandparents' house.
That's great.
And so it's a great time.
Well, I know this has been a powerful experience for both you and Lisa, and surely all the friends and family in particular that have been a part of making this, his growth, as successful as it's been. Brian, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, yes. And we've had, like I said, thank you for all the support, not only from my friends, Myrtle Beach Herald, Fox 43, a lot of support from friends and family there. And I want to thank anybody that's ever given to the March of Dimes and that has ever thought or will think about giving this time. Please do. Our family is really really thankful for the support. We really are.
That's great. Those are great words. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Brian Simpson coming up next.
Babies are in a cry.
Think about that trip down to Charleston for Brian, driving behind his wife in an ambulance and thinking they're going down to check on these contractions. Instead, later that evening and early the next morning, he and Lisa's son is born. You know, a lot of parents don't go through that aspect of having a child born at 2 pounds, 1 ounce. A lot of people don't even have children. But a lot of parents and a lot of families and a lot of medical professionals are going through this every day. On average, right now at 7:30 in the morning, 7 children have been born this morning, premature. And prematurity, of course, can range anything earlier than 37 weeks. For Brian and Lisa, it was 11 weeks early from a full-term birth. For a lot of parents, it's 6 weeks. A lot of parents are blessed with full-term births. But this is an issue that's facing so many. 1 in 8 babies born in South Carolina prematurely. You can be a part of making a difference. You can support the March of Dimes and any other organization that reaches out to help save babies and work to fight against prematurity. There's an event coming up April 28th. It's National WalkAmerica Day. It's out at Coastal Carolina University in this area. You can be a part of making a difference. 9 o'clock registration. The walk's at 10. Get out there. It's a tremendous opportunity. The phone number's simple, 488-3463. The date is simple, April 28th. You heard Brian say it. He and Lisa and their families will be making a difference every day for the March of Dimes. You can too.